Today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how much I make as a full-time sports card seller / YouTuber, showing my total card sales numbers and exactly how much YouTube pays me every month for making videos. Let's get into it. So I've been traveling all around the country and actually the world all 2024, buying cards and making videos, documenting the process, and I get the same question all the time. How much are you actually making? And are you really making a full-time living off this? So I just thought it'd be easier. Let's just answer everybody at once. Only disclaimer before we start, this video is not meant to be a flex. There's plenty of people who make more money than me with cards and definitely outside of cards. And also this job has plenty of downsides and risks. So let's just save the comments and have a bit of fun here. Let's start with the cards themselves. I mainly sell in two different places. eBay being the main one, but then also on Whatnot as well. So let's go to eBay over here. And right here, I have all my sales thus far in 2024. You can see $132,000, that's including taxes, 25% versus last year, so we're improving. That's always good. You can see the selling cost, that's like fees and shipping labels and everything. This is a more applicable number right here. Net sales, $104,155. So that's after eBay fees, after the shipping labels and everything. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. eBay is definitely the bulk of my business, but I do some stuff over here on Whatnot as well. Let me just edit this. I can do it for the last year, update. Do it for year to date, update that, and bang. 36,881. I was looking at this earlier. Okay. Yeah, revenue is after the fees and shipping label and everything. So 31,762 this year on Whatnot. Not too bad, especially because I think next year I'll probably put some more effort into Whatnot, try to grow that a little more. But as of now, the number is not quite as big as eBay, obviously. One more I gotta show you guys real quick, just for transparency's sake. I'm not even gonna factor this in, but I do sell some on ComC. You can see the stuff. It's mainly just cheap stuff on here. Seller stats by year, $1,384. That's not a huge number regardless. I think I've yet to make money on ComC because look at, I've added 2,722 cards to the site, and in general it costs you 50 cents just to add them. I have a ton sitting on there, so somewhere down the road I'm hoping I eventually start generating some cash flow from ComC, but I mean, if anything, I've lost money. I definitely have not made money, so we're just gonna cancel that out. But the one thing you guys might be asking about is card shows. You do all these card show vlogs, all this stuff. Especially this year, I've gone to a lot of card shows and bought cards. I haven't set up and sold that much. In 2023, 2022, I was doing it a lot. This year, I didn't sell that much at card shows. For the sake of it, I'm gonna estimate it at around $10,000 in sales. That might be off, but regardless, it's not a huge number. I'll tell you that much. After marketplace fees, I'm left with $104,155.69 from eBay, $31,762.11 from Whatnot, and a $10,000 estimate from card shows, and that would equal $145,917.80 so far in 2024. Wow, $145,000. I'm rich. Let's get the Lambos. It's time to move out. It's time for the mansion. I've made it. It's a wrap. I just made this video to flex on you guys. It was a trap. I did make it to flex on you. But not really. With cards, you know, a large portion of that revenue is going towards the cost of acquiring the cards themselves. But how much exactly is that cost? That's where things get tough. The expenses that go into a card business are inherently complicated. You're buying collections in bulk. I mean, you have travel, you have lodging, you have gas. I mean, you have inventory when you start the year, you have inventory when you end the year. Some things carry over. Some of the stuff I've sold this year wasn't bought this year. It was bought in 2023, maybe 2022. Some of the stuff might carry over. What cards are coming from what deal? All that is properly recorded, but it does make it tough to give exact numbers. There's also the fact that this year isn't even over yet, so I definitely haven't finalized tax documents and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna pretend to give you guys a definitive number when I know it just wouldn't be accurate. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna have to do an estimate, but I do have a lot of info that can help with the estimate here. Like for instance, I have all my expenses for the year tracked, and I know in 2024 alone, look at this, I have all my PSA submissions. I've spent over $18,000 this year just on PSA submissions. I also know that I strategically made the idea to focus on lower end and higher margin cards at the expense of higher overall sales numbers. A lot of the people that you guys see here on YouTube are flipping Tom Brady rookies, Victor Wembanyama golds, Joe Burrow rookie autos. That's great, and that's honestly, I mean, if you're asking my advice, if you really want to make big money, especially quickly, that's the way to do it. But your margins are going to be a lot smaller. A lot of those guys are looking to make 10%, maybe even 5% on each transaction. So the margin isn't that big. I mean, you're going to make a good amount of money when you're dealing with 5-figure cards and you're making 10%, but the actual percentage profit in general isn't that great. And you're also going to take losses, right? Some of those high risk investments aren't going to work out. With me, I'm lucky to say that I've told people this. There are very few cards where I lose money on because I'm very strategic, and that's how I like to run my business. I mean, here, I'll show you my eBay. This is my newly listed. A lot of you guys saw I just bought a whole collection in Nashville with a ton of these cards. So my cost basis, even on something like this Otani right here, that's really nice, is like basically $1, you know? So my margins on this stuff is really good. But you see, I'm focusing on low end, $4.99 for this Tom Brady card. It's only worth your time. It's all work, right? So you can only be into that card for about 50 cents, $1 if you want it to be worth your while. So all this stuff, I mean, this isn't every example. Like, there are cards that I'm posting looking only to make 10%. I just don't have the risk appetite playing in those thin margins with those really high-end cards. Just not for me. But with that being said, after marketplace fees, shipping, travel expenses, all that is taken out, I'd estimate my profit margin is around 30%. Exceptionally high for the card business, yes, but that's because I have zero overhead, zero staff. I don't own a card shop. I don't pay rent in a card, none of that stuff. It's all online. And I've made the conscious decision where my sales number is not going to be that high, but everything I do sell, I'm going to make money on, and it's going to be a solid amount of money. And also grading. That's another big part of my business. With grading, you can really, if you do it right, you do it well, you can get super high margins on that. So 30% of $145,917.80 is $43,775.34. Once again, this is just an estimate, but it sounds about right. My profit isn't lower than $30,000 per year, but I'd be surprised if I was topping, you know, it's probably not above like 70,000, 60, 70, I think is probably the max of pure profit what I'm bringing in this year. Once again, just keep the annoying comments to yourself. This is not a definitive number. So we have the rough card sales number for the year. Solid number, but might be tough to live off of, especially in certain parts of the countries. Plenty of people have reached out to me on how to make this a full-time living. And the thing I've pointed out to them is I think it'd be hard for me personally to make it full-time if I was just making money on cards or just making money on content. So there's two buckets, and that brings us to the second bucket, the content, and more specifically YouTube, which a lot of you guys have sure thought about. And this might be the part that you're really excited about. I don't think a lot of people have done this on YouTube. I'm just gonna show you my YouTube AdSense. Maybe some of you guys who have channels as well can relate. It shows you all right here exactly what you make. And I've always wondered, especially the bigger YouTubers, I'm like, I wanna see what your YouTube dashboard looks like. So I'm just gonna show mine. This might have been one of my best months ever. I posted a couple bangers, the Nashville one, and the past couple days it's been good. 261, 306, 262. But you see before this, that's probably more indicative of what I'm actually bringing in from YouTube AdSense per day, about 50 bucks. I'll put it for the whole year, 2024. You can see I definitely spiked up here towards the end. Pretty consistent though. Total number, $22,615. Pretty good. It's grown a lot though. People think like, even when I had, you know, like 5,000 subscribers, which is not a small amount, but people thought, oh, you're just printing money on YouTube, huh? No. Especially, I mean, look at this, 2023, I was relatively, I don't want to use the word big, but like I would consider my channel a success even back then. Look at $7,000 for the whole year. You know, it's definitely not an unlimited money tree. I mean, one trip to a card show can cost someone $2,000. So it definitely, the expenses, they add up. Let's show you how much I've made off my biggest video ever. Go to views. It's actually this retail one. You can go to analytics and you can see, boom, 2,755 off one video. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But let's show you like what a regular video looks like. Yeah, like 15,000. This is like a regular video. That I made $171. You know, some people, I think if I wasn't on YouTube, if I saw 15,000 views, I would think it's a lot more than $171. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's not, I don't know. I think it might be less than some people think. But the important part that you guys wanted to see, total for the year so far, $22,615. But that's not all the money I make from content. I would say YouTube AdSense for most creators is about 1/3 of the pie, and then the other 2/3 is made up by sponsorship and affiliate links. I've watched a ton of these videos and I've still yet to see someone show their exact sponsorship revenue, because that's key data to keep private for negotiations, and also a lot of these contracts you sign for brand deals have non-disclosure agreements in there as well. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give you guys an estimate again. But we can go to Google, the answer for all life's questions, how much to charge for a YouTube sponsorship. You can see right here, ballpark CPM is 30 to 70, which is CPM is how much you get per 1,000 views. So it kind of explains it more right here. $300 to $700 per 10,000K views after 7 days. That's not gospel. That's just, I'm just showing you guys what Google has. One thing I definitely want to note is that is for like general YouTube videos, like vlogs or like gaming. We're lucky here in cards. Most of the people who spend money on cards by nature of this hobby have disposable income. So they're actually worth a lot more to advertisers, and also it's a very specific targeting. I won't turn this into a marketing advertising course, but just know that I do know that rates are a lot higher in the sports card world versus if you have a gaming channel. You're gonna get more from sponsors than equal amount of views in gaming. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier with the slices of the pie, we're estimating here, but I would say my sponsorships is roughly equal to AdSense. That's how it works with most creators. So let's call that 20,000 in sponsorship revenue for 2024. Affiliate links are also another great way to make money. I'll show you my eBay one right here. This is like if people go to my store and then they use eBay, I get a little bit of a cut of it. So you can see right here, $15. I don't know what happened with eBay. This used to be a lot more. I think they changed the system or the structure of how they do this, but $15, not a ton. I mean, granted, it's only for a week, but it is literally free money, so it adds up. And I will say eBay is probably, this is the smallest of my affiliate income that I get. I have a couple more, like I have PSA, $25 off your first grading submission. You wanna support me and you're going to PSA, help each other both out. You use that link in the description below. But I haven't even checked those total numbers yet, to be honest. It's not gonna be as much a straight sponsorship for this year, but I'd estimate it around $10,000 for the year. That brings our total content revenue to $22,615 plus $20,000 for the sponsorship plus $10,000 for the affiliate revenue, which brings us to $52,615 for the year of 2024. Now the margins on content are definitely bigger and better for me than on cards. You know, I mean, some of the videos are actually pure profit, like the PSA reveals. I think I had it up $175. I edited that myself. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't even have to pay for gas. I'm sitting in my apartment and I had to pay for the PSA reveal, obviously, but I would have done that regardless, whether I was filming or not. So there's $175 here. In this particular case, straight profit. That's pretty good. In some other cases, you know, when you're doing big, I haven't really plugged anything this video, except for I guess that affiliate link. So this doesn't really count, but I am gonna plug one thing because it is my favorite video I've ever made. Me and my girlfriend opened a pack of cards, and the last player in the pack, we were gonna fly. It was an pack of NBA cards. We flew to whatever that game was and went and saw it. Super fun, but you can see here, where's our revenue? Oh my God. See, it's even lower because this was like a vlog, $39. That was probably $1,500 to make that video. So that's a big loser. I don't regret it. That was fun. I'm really glad I made that video. It was worth it for the experience, but it's just to show you that not every video is a winner. I mean, even this Whatnot one right here, $295. I had to pay to get it edited. I had to fly to Cleveland, all this stuff. But you know, once again, this YouTube AdSense, there's sponsorships and stuff that help out. Regardless, all that being said, it is higher margin than the card still. Your YouTube audience grows and the money grows at the same time, but people don't know or understand that as that grows, like the production value and what goes into it grows as well. So your costs are gonna add up, but still, with that being said, still higher margin than the cards for me. I'd estimate I lose about 40% of my revenue from content to expenses, 60% of that total $52,615 number being my profit, $31,569 is what I'm estimating to be my profit on content. So boom, now we have both slices of the pie. Drum roll, let's get our final number. So based on our numbers here, this year I made $43,775.34 on cards, and my profit on content / YouTube was $31,569 for a total estimated number of $75,344. Don't take this number as definitive once again, but I do think it's definitely in that neighborhood. It's not less than 50K, but I'm not rich over here making 200K plus, at least for me personally. But the good news is I have a closet full of cards back there that hopefully I'll be able to sell down the line, and that'll lead to a lot more revenue. Not a crazy income regardless, but single person, no kids, no debt, no car payment. It's enough for me to chase my dream full time, put a lot of the money back into the business. Like, I could lower my expenses if I just wanted to milk every last dollar out of this, but I am doing stupid stuff like flying to a random NBA city to watch a game and make a video of it. So go watch that video. Otherwise, if you did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.